Don't slip on the trail. Don't slip on the trail. Tempo, tempo. Can you keep up with my tempo? Tempo. Yeah, yeah.
Well, what's up guys? Welcome to a new video. If you used your lovely eyeballs, you would have read that today I'm working on my suspension. Before I start this video is sponsored by me, and I'm now broke. So I really hope you enjoy this video. So, I don't want to waste your time. We'll start with the rear suspension. So starting from the back, I'm gonna be pretty in-depth in this video because if you wanted to recreate what I did, because I added some new things to the car that weren't here before, you can do that too. I took off the old suspension, which I left on for a while because when I was doing the body work I needed to move the car backwards so that I could get to the area of the quarter panel right here because it's covered by this post. Removing the rear suspension took some force, but we got it off pretty easily, pretty quickly. I pulled out the old rear end and I stripped all the brake lines off of it. The way I remove the drum brakes is first I hit the drum with a really heavy hammer to get it loose from the rust holding it on. And then I pulled the 4 bolts holding it onto the rear end. I turn around the drum, bolt it back on a little bit, and use it as a slide hammer to pull the axle out. Oh boy. This worked well for the driver's side, but the passenger side, it would not come out. So I ended up having to go to O'Reilly's and rent one of their slide hammers with an attachment. And that came off, but with a little bit of difficulty. What? So, obviously you can't see my head, but you can see my hands. I don't care how this looks. It's going to be on the other side. I don't think this car will ever be on a lift, to be honest. So nobody's ever going to see it. I'm still going to paint it, but it's absolutely not perfect. And there's just a lot of dirt that I'm going to be painting over. I tried to clean it the best I could. Just proving that I don't care. I'm just brushing it on because I don't feel like spraying today. I had to remove the old bushings that held the shackle up on the frame in the rear, and I did that by just taking a drill with a large drill bit and drilling it until it became loose and then just pulled it out by hand. I slid the rear up in place, still on jack stands. And then I installed the leaf springs, first the front and then the rear. The correct way to do this is you put the bushing on here, and then that's so much easier. For this car, I wanted to get traction bars, so in case I wanted to step on it, I would be able to without a bunch of wheel hop. To install this, bracket bolts onto the underside of the spring brackets. Unfortunately, I did this incorrectly because it comes with a notch pre-installed on it, but I installed these spring brackets on the wrong side, meaning that I had to cut notches in the wrong places. And all this was going good until it was time to install the shocks, when I noticed that the shocks wouldn't sit in the brackets properly. And that's when I realized that I put them on backwards on the wrong sides. For the front bracket that holds in the traction bar, I lifted it up into place where it would meet the frame and I marked it out. And then in the spots that I marked out, I took it down to bare metal. Already primed it, here's the paint. with that all done, that's the entire rear end complete. For the front brakes is pretty straightforward. I didn't have many problems with that. In order for me to mount my coilovers, I had to clean the export braces with the wire wheel and then I painted them. I'm not going to list every part that I put on because that would be pretty boring to listen to my voice for a minute straight. So one problem that I noticed wrong with this kit is the hole for the cotter pin is too low, which means the castle nut has to be lower, which means that I had to buy a bunch of washers to put above the castle nut so they can sit lower. And I'll put those on now. One upgrade I did make to my front suspension is I bought a really nice set of QA1 coilovers, and I'm just going to take a minute to enjoy this beautiful box that it comes in. Looks pretty cute. The bottom of the coilover bolted right on to the stock location on the upper control arm. And then the top of the coilover mounted right onto the stock position as well with the stock bolts that come with the Mustangs. And I gave the adjuster knob 8 clicks. And with my coilovers on, that was all there was left for the suspension. If you have made it this far in the video, first off, thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing with a friend. Any kind of support would mean a lot to me to help the channel grow so I can continue making more videos because I like doing this and I hope you guys like the videos too. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video where I break more stuff. Bye.